When I think back about my job history, there's actually not a single job that I can recall that I truly loved. Overall, I just really didn't enjoy working. So I think that the things that I'm gonna say in this video, they go beyond working at this current job that I'm at. This is like, I just think that I don't enjoy working to begin with. So the job that I was at previously, initially I really liked it. I was there for 4 years. For a while, I enjoyed what I did, but it got to the point where things were becoming so repetitive and I was getting so frustrated and I was just sick of being in a customer-facing role and having to talk to so many people every single day that I was ready to move on to something different. I was ready for a change. I wanted to leave what I was doing, and I was so happy that the job that I was moving on to was something completely different from what I was doing before. It was at a desk, in an office, and it would be quiet. And I wouldn't have to be in a role where I was dealing with customers all day. I could just focus on my own tasks and do my own thing, and I was really looking forward to that. The kind of environment that I prefer is one where I get to work independently. I was looking forward to working at my current job, and I have to stay vague about what I do. I work for a production company, a small independent production company, and we're working on a film. And that's about all I can say about what I currently do. My current role is not a creative role. I'm a production coordinator. Even though I'm working on a creative project, my specific job is more of a traditional office job. So when I first started this job, I was, I noticed that the company was kind of disorganized. They didn't really know what to do with me. Although they needed help, they didn't really have assignments planned out for me, which was really stressful in the beginning because I'm trying to adjust to a new environment and I just wasn't adjusting well. I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing day to day. I was just trying to figure things out along the way, and I never really felt like I hit my stride. I never felt like I got good at what I was doing. Things just sort of got progressively worse over time. And it's not anybody else's fault. It's not the fault of my boss. It's not the fault of the people that I work with. I enjoy everyone I work with. It's simply the fact that I just couldn't, I was hitting a point in my life where I wanted a big change, and this wasn't it. I feel like I wasn't on the right path. You know, so I was really unhappy coming into work every day. All I wanted to do was leave. All I could think about was leaving. All I could think about was the end of the day. I just wanted to do anything to escape. So I prayed and prayed and prayed. And I just thought to myself, it would be so much easier, this job that I'm doing. I thought that the problem was the office setting. I thought that I just didn't like being at the office because our offices are an open concept plan. There's only a few of us there, so when I go into work, I'm sitting in one big room with a couple other people in complete silence. We're all at our desks. It was the change that I wanted, but it also wasn't a change that I enjoyed, it turns out. It's hard for me to sit still in silence for 8 hours while I try to come up with things that I'm supposed to be doing because I wasn't really getting enough tasks to keep me flowing throughout the day. I would finish what I needed to do like within a few hours, if that. And then I was stuck there with nothing to do, and I didn't want to interrupt my boss or anybody else and say, hey, what do I do now? I just felt like I was a nuisance at work. I didn't have a good flow of tasks to keep me busy. So it was always a struggle for them to give me enough work to get through the day. So that went on for a while, and I just thought, man, it would be so much easier if I could just work from home. All my problems would be solved if I could just work from home. Like, the job is not so bad. It's just the fact that I have to come into the office and be bored all day and sit in a room and justify and try and make myself look busy when I really don't have much to do. Then COVID hit. I got my wish. And for a while, things were good. I didn't have anyone's eyes on me, watching me, what I was doing every second of the day. It just felt like I was free. But that only lasted a little while. I was still pretty dissatisfied with what I was doing. I just felt like I still didn't want to sit at my desk. I still didn't want to do the work that I was supposed to be doing. I was just bored and frustrated with my job, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. Even though it was really easy. Like, the work that I do is so easy. We've never been able to fix this issue that we've been having from the beginning of the flow of things. In my company, there's so much work that needs to be done, but there's so many roadblocks and problems that we face along the way. So the flow of things keeps stagnating. There was a period of time where I got so depressed from having to just be stuck at my job. I just felt stuck. I felt stuck where I was, and I didn't know what to do. And there was a few years there where I felt so stuck. I didn't know what to do, and I was so depressed, and I would just cry on the floor of my apartment during work. And I didn't know how to get out of it because I felt burnt out. It's weird feeling burnt out and bored at the same time, but that's exactly how I felt. I was burnt out, I was bored. I didn't want to be doing it anymore. It's just hard to get yourself hyped up to do something that you just don't want to do. I just didn't want to go to work anymore. I wanted to be free to do what I wanted to do every single day, and I couldn't because I always had to account for what I was doing at work. If I were in a company that was big, like a corporation where there are hundreds of workers, I feel like you can skirt along longer without really doing much. You can make yourself seem busy without people checking in on you too much. But because my company is so small, I get checked in on all the time. But like I said, I just don't have enough to do during the day to keep me busy for the full 8 hours. But I also couldn't afford to work less than 8 hours because I needed the full-time income. So I just felt really stuck. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I couldn't leave because I was making more money than I had ever made before, even though it really wasn't that much looking back, but more money than I had made at any of my previous jobs. And I was finally in a position where I was able to afford my own apartment and live independently, which is something that I had been wanting for years. So I didn't know how to leave. I was too burnt out. I didn't want to apply to a different job and somewhere where I would just feel the same way, where I would feel stuck doing something that didn't fulfill me, that I didn't want to be doing. I didn't want to go through the interview process. I just felt completely depleted, depressed, and like I couldn't go on. And eventually I ended up just having a breakdown, and I called my sister, and she gave me a way out. She was getting ready to move across the country, and she asked me if I wanted to come and live with her. And it just sounded like the solution to all my problems. It wasn't. I felt relief for a while because I didn't have to be stuck at the same job doing the same thing every day. I felt like my life was finally changing and things were getting better. But I basically moved from one situation that I wasn't happy in to another situation that I wasn't happy in, for different reasons. I was happy that I didn't have to work anymore, but I was stressed about money now because even though I wasn't paying rent, it's expensive for food and things like that. It's expensive just to live, you know? So even though I wasn't paying money for rent, my savings was being depleted by a lot. I ended up not working for about a year and a half, maybe a little more, and it wasn't the refreshing break and time away that I was hoping it would be. It was pretty stressful. I just kept stressing about when am I going to get another job? What am I going to do next? I really didn't know. So then I decided I was going to go ahead and start the job search again. I didn't want to, but I was getting to a position where my savings was about to be depleted and I needed to get back and work again. So I started the job search. It was awful. Everything that you hear people experiencing today about putting in hundreds and hundreds of applications and receiving none or maybe one or two responses, that's what I went through. So for months and months and months, I submitted applications to all kinds of different places. Positions that were in my field, positions that were out of my field and brand new to me, positions that I knew I was qualified for, everything. Part-time, full-time, I just put my application out there as much as I could and I was not getting any hits back. Finally, I got the advice to revamp my resume, which I thought was the issue. It wasn't. It didn't do anything. I still wasn't getting any interviews. I just kept getting a flurry of rejection emails, so I felt even more stuck. Finally, I got reached out to by a company that I had previously worked for. They were the only company that responded to my application. So I was able to get a job at a company, a new location, but the same company that I worked at before. And that job I could actually tolerate. It was a customer facing role, but it was something where I didn't have to deal with complaints or anything like that. My interaction with customers was pretty limited and I could pretty much work independently, do my job and go home at the end of the day. It was something where I was not sitting in front of a computer all day, which was also nice because I was ready to get out from behind a desk and start doing something that was a little more physical. Although it wasn't a physically demanding job, but still. I just wanted to do something where I wasn't stuck at a desk. And that was fine for a while, but I really was not making enough money to actually live while I was working. I was making barely enough to be able to afford anything, and I was dying to be able to live alone again. Finally, I decided that I need to do something. I need to leave. Around this time, somebody from my current company got in contact with me and said that they were interested in hiring me back. And I was so ready to be living alone again that despite the fact that I didn't like my job the first time around, I accepted it because I was going to be getting a pretty decent pay increase. And I knew that I would be okay financially. Even if I wasn't happy at the job, I knew that I would be able to afford my own place and I would be able to live comfortably. So that's what I did. I packed up everything, I moved back across the country again and restarted the old job that I left because I didn't like it. And guess what? I still don't like it. I'm very thankful that I have this position. I know how hard it is for people out there right now. I know what everyone's going through with the application process and how difficult it is to find anything at all to be accepted for any kind of position. There's people with college degrees who are being rejected from working at Taco Bell. So I know that it's terrible out there. I don't envy anybody who's going through the application process right now. I don't want to go through it again myself, but it's also pretty miserable when you do have a job. You know, being unemployed sucks, but also being employed sucks too. I don't know, I just feel drained. I feel if I could describe my job in one word, how it makes me feel, it would be depleted, drained, depressed. I just don't want to be doing it. It's not terrible, it's not the worst thing in the world, but when you have to hype yourself up to do something that you don't want to do every single day, it's exhausting. It's emotionally exhausting. I feel tired at the end of the day. Like I don't have the energy to do anything else. I have my own passions and creative hobbies that I would like to be doing and I think about a lot, but when I get done at the end of the day with work, I just don't feel like doing it. I just don't have the energy. I don't have the mental energy. The only thing that I can do most days at the end of the workday is sit on my bed and play a game of solitaire because it's mindless enough that, you know, I don't have to put any extra thought into it. I can just kind of zone out, watch some YouTube videos and play my game, and that helps me relax. But when I'm at work, I feel stressed. I feel like my mind wanders. I start thinking of all the things that I would rather be doing besides sitting at my desk and working. I would rather be traveling. I would rather be rollerblading. I would rather be learning a new skill, taking a pottery class, you know, going out for a walk, just doing nothing really. And this is the part where I feel guilty. I know I should be thankful for this position, and I really am. I do have the money that I need to support myself and live on my own, which is something that I have always wanted, and I love it. I love being independent. I want to remain independent, but what I have to do to get it is, it almost makes it not worth it. I just wish I could be free. Yeah, I wish I could be free. I wish I could be free to use my time the way I want to use it, even if it's doing absolutely nothing. If I want to lay around all day on TikTok, why can't I do that? It's my life, you know? Why do I have to be productive every single second of the day? Why do I have to sell my time to an employer? Why do I have to sell my life away to a company? For my generation, you can't even look forward to retirement because it's not coming. There's nothing for us. I hate to be so negative about this, but I just feel like the system is set up against us. Like there's not really much I can do. You either work or you die. If I stopped working today, everything I have would go away and I would be out on the street, I guess. All I want to do is stop working, but I just can't. I can't afford to. You need money in this society to live. And the only way that we have to get money, well, one of the only stable ways to get money is to work. I feel like I'm just incompatible with working. I just feel like I can't do it anymore. I'm 33 and I already feel burnt out, and this is something that I've been hearing from so many other people. You know, 27, 28, 29, 30, and they say, I am burnt out from work already. I don't know how our parents did it. I just can't do this for another 30 years. I don't have it in me. Even thinking about doing this for 5 more years is exhausting. I actually did better in school than I'm doing at work. I was able to focus in school and even look forward to school. I was able to sit and concentrate. And I think the reason for that is I felt like all the hard work that I was doing in school was really going to pay off in the future, that my success in school was going to contribute to my success in life. At work, I just have no motivation whatsoever to do a good job outside of money. That's the thing that's keeping me at work. I feel terrible about saying this because I really do like my boss. I believe in the project that we're working on, and it's not so bad, but it's just not what I want to do anymore. And I feel especially stuck because there's no other option. Even if there was another job that I really wanted, I wouldn't even feel confident enough to go out and apply for it right now because of how terrible things are. The fact that nobody, even people who are far more qualified and have far more experience than I do, way more education too, whose resumes are stacked resumes, even they're having problems getting jobs. Even the most basic jobs, even the most entry-level jobs people can't get. So it's just really scary out there. It's not a time where I can afford to let go of a position if you have one. So just more reason that I feel stuck where I'm at, because I know that there's kind of no way out. I can't just go and apply for a new job. Even if I could though, I wouldn't want to. I don't think a traditional 9-to-5 work setting is good for me anymore. It may have served me for a time, but it doesn't work for me anymore. I need something new. I need something that is more fulfilling, more free, flexible, where I feel like I'm doing something worthwhile, something that I'm interested in, something where I have a purpose, something that actually means something. I'm not just coming to work for the money. But any job that I can think of that I would actually enjoy doesn't pay enough. Any job that I could think of that would fulfill me or any of my interests, they don't pay enough, at least not up front. It takes years sometimes, if ever, to build up the kind of income that I would need to live from some of the hobbies that I really enjoy. So I just feel like I'm in a catch-22 situation. I feel stuck, like a lot of people feel stuck. I completely understand the feelings that people are expressing online. It's the only thing that makes me feel less alone. The fact that other people have come forward and made videos about how they're feeling about their jobs, about how depressed they are, about how drained they are. Because for a while there, I was feeling like it was just me, like there was something wrong with me. But I realize now it's like a cultural problem that we're having. This is something systemic that's going on, that we're all feeling burnt out and want to die. So something is gonna have to change. I don't know how though. I don't see how with the way things are going, but something's gonna have to give, because this just isn't working for anybody. No one is happy right now. I know I'm not. One thing that I find about being depressed about work or not dreading your job is that dread just seeps into every other aspect of your life. Like it's hard for me to get up in the morning when all I have to look forward to that day is work. Sometimes I'll stay in bed. I'm an early bird, but sometimes I'll stay in bed as late as possible simply so that I can delay my day and have as much time to myself as possible before I have to get up and get to work. Other days I'll wake up super early, go out, get a coffee so that I can feel free for just a few moments before I have to go into work. Yeah, I like hopping in my car and going somewhere for lunch because I feel like I'm just getting away. And that's what work makes me want to do. All I want to do is escape. And all I can think, I'm sure so many people can relate to this when you're at work and you're watching the clock and counting down the hours and the minutes until you get to leave. And finally, at the end of the day, when you're ready to sign out, you feel that relief and your body can finally relax. And it's like, oh, my life is mine again. And then you get ready for bed and you start to feel that dread of the next day that you're gonna have to be back up again at work. It's like, that's the cycle of my life. I feel like there's no room in my life for anything else besides work and dreading work. No amount of changing my diet, changing my sleep schedule, exercising, taking supplements, doing anything like that helps. The only thing that helps me feel better is when I don't have to work. That's when I feel good. Like on the weekend. It's really sad that you spend your time wishing your life away because of how sad you feel at work. I'm not living my life. I'm not enjoying my life. I'm just simply trying to get through the day. I don't want to live like that, but I just feel like I have no choice. There's nothing, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get out of this. Yeah, I just find that the hours that I have to myself, I'm trying to hurry up and enjoy as much of my freedom as I possibly can before I have to get back to work. Also, sitting at a desk all day really takes a physical toll on your body. Like my back hurts, my hips hurt. I feel like I've gained weight. If you've ever seen The Good Place, I feel like my life is like The Good Place, where it doesn't look so bad from the outside, but it is actually hell. Even people who are out there making multiple six-figure salaries are feeling so depressed that they're quitting their jobs. That's how you know it's bad. If you're making that kind of money and you choose to walk away from it for your own peace, you know it must be bad. It's just not good for us to be constantly stressed and constantly depressed and to feel this dread all the time. It's like killing our souls. I do feel like my soul is dying. I just don't want to do anything. In my spare time, I just sit around and do nothing because that's all I can do. I think our system is built so that we stay stuck. You know, whenever I'm at work, I just feel like I drag my feet. I'm useless at what I'm doing because I stall. I'm just always trying to find something else that I could do rather than work. Like, I just really delay getting my day started. I can kind of just do what I want when I work at home, but I feel so guilty. I just feel like I'm wasting everyone's time. And one thing that my boss does that drives me crazy, he always asks what I'm working on. Like I said, I don't have enough work typically to keep me busy for a full 8-hour day, which is another thing that I've heard from other people who work in corporate or who work in office positions. They don't have enough work to be busy for the entire workday. They're busy for maybe a couple hours in the beginning, and then after that, part of the job is simply pretending that they're working. Like, that's an actual skill to survive in the corporate environment. And that's a skill that I've had to cultivate, sadly, because I can't be honest about the fact that I have so few tasks, or rather, here's what it is. I have many tasks that don't take very long to complete. So I just have to make them, stretch them out as long as I can and hope that nobody notices. Because like I said, I can't afford to not work full time. So I have to make it look like I have a full 8-hour day when I don't. I have no motivation to improve or move up at my current job. Here's the other thing. The job that I'm at right now, although I'm not a contractor, it's like I'm a contractor because once this project is over, my job is done. So this will end eventually. So I'm in a position now where I have to start thinking about what I'm gonna do next. I can't just, knowing how bad the job market is now, I can't rely on the fact that, that I'm just gonna be able to submit an application, do an interview, and get a new job. I wouldn't want that even if I could, but I can't even rely on that. 9-to-5 jobs are not reliable anymore. It's like a hope and a dream to even get accepted for a job these days. So I got to think about what I'm going to do next, and I feel like my next move has to be something that is unconventional, which is why I want to start looking into ways of making money online, because I feel like that's one of the few reliable ways that you can actually count on making money right now. Jobs are just not secure anymore. People who have positions that we used to think were secure are not, like tech jobs, government positions, even people in the medical field are not. Every industry is suffering. I know mine is. I work in film and television. My industry is going to hell pretty quickly. AI is kind of ruining things for people. Big studios don't want to pay anymore. It's just really dystopian what's going on as far as work goes in our culture, at least in the US. Yeah, things aren't good. And I'm certainly feeling that. I want to be my own boss, and I also don't want to be anybody else's boss. I just want to do my own thing, work independently. I've always enjoyed working independently. So something where I can just work for myself and I don't need to manage other people either, that would be ideal for me. So I'm thinking something online, some sort of online work. I have some ideas of what I could potentially move on to next, but it's stuff that I would have to start building up now. It's not instant money. There's no dream job for me. There's nothing that I really want to do. All I want is to be free. My dream job is to simply be free of any money worries, to not have to show up to work if I don't want to be able to own my own time and do what I want to do every single day. That's my dream. It's not a job anymore, and I feel like I've woken up and I realize that now. But it's scary in this society because America doesn't give you any other option. You have to work. There's no way out. Like, there's no other way to live unless you're independently wealthy, or you win the lottery, or you come from money. You strike it big with a great business idea. Like, your only other option is just to sell your time for money, is to leverage your labor. And I just can't do it anymore. I don't have it in me. I don't have another 30 years of this. I really don't. So something's gonna have to change. So I feel like I'm being put in a position where I have to become an entrepreneur, even though it's not necessarily what makes my heart sing. I just want to do something relaxed, something that I enjoy, something that is unconventional, gets me up, out and about. I'm not stuck behind a desk. I'm not stuck doing repetitive work. I can truly enjoy what I'm doing, learn, grow, have fun, and live a comfortable life. I don't even have to live a luxurious life. I don't care about luxuries. So knowing that there is an end in sight for my job, whether I want it or not, is motivating me to start coming up with a strategy for what I'm going to do next, because I have to think of something that I can move on to next. And it's not going to be another 9-to-5 job. It's not going to be something that I'm going to submit a resume for and do an interview and all that. I just can't. It's not reliable, and it's also not what I want. I won't enjoy something like that. I'll just be miserable again. I'm going to move from one miserable situation into another. I just have to accept the fact that I'm not compatible with a 9-to-5 traditional job. I got to think outside the box. I got to do something unconventional, something I've never done before. So that's the plan, but I just don't know how I'm gonna go about doing that. I don't know. I want to do something with maybe traveling, or I have some interesting ideas. I want to talk about that in a future video, but it can't be something where I sit at a desk, unless I'm sitting at a desk doing something that I enjoy, like graphic design. But again, I don't want to work for somebody else being a graphic designer. I want to do my own thing. And if you're going through this right now, if you're going through the same thing that I'm going through, I feel you. You're not alone. You're not crazy. I think we're all just suffering the consequences of our economic state right now. We're collectively going through this horrible experience. I don't feel like it's the result of any one job or any one industry or any particular company. It's just kind of everybody is suffering the same fate at the same time, because it's a systemic problem what we're going through. We need a better work culture. People need to have more options. There has to be more of a safety net. Anyway, I just think a lot about the ways that things could be better and why aren't they better. So I hope everyone enjoys their weekend. Enjoy your freedom. And don't give up hope. All right, that's all.